We all wanted the parents back in Descendants 3, but sadly, they were not present. Welcome to Riveted, and we'll be telling you why Maleficent wasn't in Descendants 3. Stick around for the most shocking reason. But first, let's begin with a bit of a recap. D3 begins with Mal, Evie, Carlos, and Jay returning home to announce which 4 villain kids will join them at Aradon Prep. The lucky 4 turn out to be Dizzy, the daughter of Cinderella's stepsister, Drizella, Celia, the daughter of Dr. Facilier, and Squeaky and Squirmy, the twin offspring of Captain Hook's first mate Smee. Hades nearly follows the 4 new VKs through the barrier, creating a frightening challenge in Aradon. Audrey steals the crown and scepter, and the VKs return to the Isle of the Lost to retrieve Hades' Ember, the only object powerful enough to counter Maleficent's magic. Uma snatches the Ember from Mal, and she agrees to help stop Audrey if Mal drops the barrier for good. Well, Mal agrees to the condition even though she shouldn't, and the decision comes back to bite her later on. Mal manages to defeat Audrey, but she's unable to revive her, so she asks help from Hades. The barrier is eventually dropped, and they all live happily ever after. Mal and Ben are engaged, Evie and Doug validate their romance via true love's kiss. Carlos and Jane, aka Jarlos, become official, and Jay and Gil decide to take their bromance on a world tour. Mal and Hades can't seem to get enough of each other, and everything seems perfect, right? Except where in the world is Maleficent? Maleficent is considered the most dangerous and feared villain, such that invoking her name strikes fear and terror in people's hearts. In Descendants 1, Maleficent's dragon form can't stand all the goodness and love and transforms into a little lizard, which is the same size as the love in her heart. In Descendants 2, Maleficent only appears in lizard form. She's seen in a small box in Mal's dorm room. In Descendants 3, she doesn't even make an appearance. Really, that's all we get from the most feared villain? It's not fair. Everyone else got to have a second chance at making things right except her. Fans wanted her back for a couple of reasons, but sadly their expectations were not met. First of all, it would have been nice to see Maleficent reunite with her daughter, Mal. Hades got a second chance even though he was equally bad or even worse than Maleficent. A couple of theories were also thrown around about how Maleficent should return in Descendants 3. When Disney first released the trailers, we had all the reasons to believe that Maleficent was behind the sleeping spell. She's done it before, so it's something she could easily do again. When viewers saw Audrey holding Maleficent's scepter, they were convinced that she'd somehow possessed her to steal the scepter and the crown on her behalf. Plus, it's also an explanation as to why Audrey was able to hold the scepter. According to the books and the films, anyone who touches the scepter falls into a deep sleep for 1,000 years. Well, everyone except Maleficent and anyone who has her blood. According to the fans' theories, if Audrey wasn't possessed by Maleficent, the only other way she could hold the scepter is if she was related to Maleficent. Anything can happen in Disneyverse. Descendants 3 brought Hades back for a reason, and fans felt that he didn't complete his purpose. Yes, we got the backstory between him and Maleficent, but we would have loved to see if they got a second chance at love again. Hades is the only confirmation that Maleficent has love in her heart, even though it's the size of a lizard. They would answer questions like, how did they meet? Why did they separate? Convincing Maleficent to marry him and bear a child for him must have been quite a hustle. Plus, a bit of the fight between Hades and Maleficent would have made Descendants 3 more exciting. Oh, and let's not forget her incredible voice. Maleficent is an iconic singer, and fans would have loved to hear her sing one more time. Imagine a trio with Mal and Hades. Epic. Then she would explain to us why she lied to Mal. She always said that Mal inherited her weakness from her human father, and it turned out that Mal's father was a strong god. In fact, his ember was the only thing powerful enough to counter Maleficent's magic. Did she lie because she couldn't face the fact that there was a villain stronger than she was in the Isle of the Lost? Yeah, that's definitely the reason, because that way Mal would never look for her dad. Well, let's face it, it's actually a good thing that Maleficent is still a lizard. If Mal would turn her mother back into a human, she would definitely want to get revenge, and we all know too well that Maleficent would cause unimaginable chaos. There's no way she'd understand that her daughter kept her as a pet in a box. Bringing Maleficent back would mean that the barrier couldn't be dropped. Mal said that she still loved her mother, but trust is another thing. I doubt there's anyone who'd trust Maleficent even if she promised to be good. I bet Maleficent would take advantage of the dropped barrier to try and rule over Aradon, Isle of the Lost, and the entire universe if she could. It was just too risky. The other reason she might not have been in Descendants 3 is even scarier. What if Mal lost her mother? Yikes. It's possible considering she was moving around a lot and we never even saw her check up on Maleficent. If she were lost somewhere in the Isle of the Lost, then it would be impossible to bring her back. Mal put the dangerous lizard in a box, and she probably forgot to take it when she was making her escape from the Isle of the Lost in Descendants 2. Or maybe it was impossible for Mal or any other person to make that choice for Maleficent. If Maleficent's love size gets bigger and stronger, she might become a human again. What if she actually transformed herself back to a human after learning to love and is currently plotting her revenge? Bringing Hades back into the picture probably sparked more love in Maleficent's heart. You know Disneyverse. The only thing stronger than anything else in the Disneyverse is love. If she actually managed to transform herself back, everything would work in her favor because there's no longer a barrier stopping her from being all-powerful. Or maybe she just wants to be a good person after the transformation and make amends with her family. This is why we seriously need another Descendants movie. There are too many unanswered questions. Well, there's another reason we can't ignore. The person cast to play Maleficent was not available to shoot the other Descendants movies. Among the characters in Descendants, Kristen Chenoweth is by far one of the most accomplished actors. While they were shooting the first season, they had to shoot for 3 weeks straight to take care of all of her parts. Of course, it was a bit confusing for the other young actors who never understood what was going on until everything was put together. She was an inspiration to all of them, not just on set, but in real life too. In 1999, Kristen won a Tony Award for her performance as Sally Brown in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown on Broadway. In 2003, she received wide notice for originating the role of Glinda in the musical Wicked, including a nomination for another Tony. In 2009, she won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. In 2017, Chenoweth played the role of Easter in the Starz TV series American Gods, and she also was featured in Trial and Error. The star was also part of A Very Wicked Halloween, hosting and singing Popular and other numbers to celebrate the 15th anniversary of Wicked on Broadway. In fact, between 2015 and 2019, when the Descendants project was taking place, Kristen Chenoweth was featured in 15 films. Wow! She's currently finalizing on The Christmas Song and Holiday, which are both in post-production. Let's also not forget that Kristen Chenoweth is an accomplished singer, and the success of her music speaks for itself. Apart from acting, music was also keeping her busy, and here's everything she was working on in terms of music while the cast of Descendants was busy filming the franchise. In 2014, Chenoweth released an album titled Coming Home. The album charted at number 48 on the Billboard 200 chart. Her Coming Home tour continued into 2017. In 2016, she released her next album, The Art of Elegance, which debuted at number 36 on the Billboard 200 and number 1 on the Billboard Jazz Albums chart. One of the songs on the album, I'm a Fool to Want You, was nominated for a Grammy Award for its arrangements. The same year, she gave a series of concerts at Broadway's Lunt-Fontanne Theatre titled My Love Letter to Broadway. In 2017, she gave a concert at the London Palladium, and judging by the reviews about the concert, her fans had the time of their lives. Chenoweth plans to release a new album for the Girls on September 27, 2019, to feature covers of songs by female performers from various genres that have influenced her. She is collaborating with Dolly Parton, Reba McEntire, Jennifer Hudson, and Ariana Grande on the album. Well, as you can see, she's a very busy woman, and her career has constantly brought up questions about her love life. Kristen Chenoweth is a self-admitted runaway bride. She's been engaged 3 times. The star always seems to put her career first, and it's something she doesn't regret. Of course, interviewers always ask her if she plans on at least bearing children. Last year, when the star was celebrating her 50th birthday, she pointed out that she might actually try to find love and children. She admitted that doctors had told her that it might be time to freeze her eggs if she wants children of her own. In one of the interviews with People, Chenoweth said, "You know what's tricky about dating when you're a woman who does concerts, Broadway, television? I have a jewelry line. I don't just do one thing, but you've got to make time. Relationships need to be developed like flowers need to be watered. So as I approach this next chapter, I would really like to learn. I've not been great at that part of the balance, so I'd like to learn to make the time for that special someone." Well, we are not complaining about her success because she keeps us entertained. As you can see, she clearly had no time to shoot the Descendants movie, and that might be the main reason we didn't see her. Did you miss her in Descendants 3? Let us know your thoughts and views in the comments section below. This has been Riveted, and we publish all your favorite videos daily, so stay tuned.